Assalamu alaikum, dear students. How are you? Hope you all are fine and enjoying good health with the grace of Almighty Allah. I'm Muhammad Khalid, and today we are going to cover week 16, lessons 31 and 32. Our today's discussion is about the famous Chinese leader Mao Zedong. In this chapter, we will cover life history of Mao Zedong, political philosophy of Mao, political struggle, critical analysis of Mao's policies. Dear students, in this video 1 for the week 16, Mao Zedong is the greatest Chinese revolutionary leader that born in 1893 and lived up to 1976. Dear students, we discuss these two leaders, Karl Marx and Mao Zedong, although they are Russian, they are Eastern, means Karl Marx was the Western one, but the ideology of Karl Marx was practiced and implemented in the Russia, because Russia was a large country in the world. To one part it was connected with Europe, and the acute part was connected with America and also with the Middle East, and the Central Asia was entirely occupied by Russia. And in this huge part of the world, the ideas of Karl Marx, the ideas of socialism and communism were spread and implemented, and a time came that under the policies of Lenin and Stalin, Russian Revolution was occupying almost half of the world. Well, the second major territory in the world was the Chinese territory. China for prehistoric time has a distinct position and a celebrated culture. In the times of, in the 11th century and the 12th century, Chinese, Genghis Khan and Hulagu Khan, they had captured almost a huge part of the world. Fine. Thereby, in these huge part of the vast lands and entirely extraordinary bulged population, the Karl Marx theories were implemented, and resultantly Chinese revolution is significant. Now, knowing about Mao Zedong and the Chinese revolution is again a hot topic in the political science and current affairs, in wake to culmination or wake in the surge of this Chinese industrial impact and territorial impact over the people around the world. Thereby, it is now a very interesting topic for all. Well, the students, in this video 1, I would express some of the biographical clues about the great personality of Mao Zedong. Mao Zedong was a communist Chinese leader and is noted among the best political thinkers, philosophers, revolutionaries of the 20th century. Mao Zedong, born in November the 19th, 1893 in a central province, Hunan, in a well of family. Right from the childhood, he possessed the means perplexed personality, and he had the revolutionary ideas. However, he was a brilliant student. Right from the childhood, his personality and the temperament had a kind of restlessness, as if he wanted to do some great thing. Well, in 1918, he completed his school education and became an employee in the Peking University Library. Here, he met with two socialist professors, Li Tachao and Chin Tosio. These two became his leaders, means spiritual leaders, and they transformed Mao Zedong completely into a Marxist comrade. In 1921, along with many other revolutionary activists, he laid the foundation of CCP, Chinese Communist Party, in Hunan and became its leader. This was an opportunity for Mao to rise as a national leader. Right from 1923 to 1928, Mao served in Shanghai and Canton Party headquarters, and during his stay, he also kept connected with Hunan and convened the farmers. Well, in 1924, Chinese Communist Party became an ally with Kuomintang National People's Party of Taiwan, and in 1925, after the death of Sen Yat-sen of the Kuomintang Party, Chiang Kai-shek became the leader of the Kuomintang Party. And now this Chiang Kai-shek is a great name in Chinese opposition parties and ideas. Well, it is something different that we'll discuss later on. Right in 1925 to 1926, Mao Zedong was appointed as a chief propagandist, but he soon returned to Hunan. Communist Party and Kuomintang collectively lodged or waged a war against the warlords in China and liberated much of the territories from the warlords. Meanwhile, Mao kept working as the chief propagandist officer. Unfortunately, in 1927, the the unity between Communist Party and Kuomintang Party was over. Mao Zedong returned to his province Hunan, and there he led the first the first treason of the or first revolution of the farmers, but unfortunately was unsuccessful, and afterwards he disappeared into the mountains, meaning he got lodged into the mountains to save his life. Well, in the mountains, he trained his companions and comrades for the guerrilla warfare, and till and in the next few years from 1928 to 19 till 1927, he had prepared his own army. Well, he started capturing the land in the eastern mountain regions through the guerrilla warfare. In this warfare, the Russian means Russia helped China, and in 1931, a Soviet democracy was established in China with the help of China. Well, soon the Russian got bored because they uh, left the guerrilla warfare strategy and uh, involved into the traditional warfare. But Kuomintang's army was excellent, and in 1935, Kuomintang, mean the National Army of China, captured that uh, democratic state, and resultantly, Mao Zedong had to leave his and had to lead his remaining army and went to the northwestern China. There he establishes bases, and this is called the Long March, when Mao Zedong, collected his army and went to the northwestern China. It is a 1,000-mile long journey made by this charismatic leader, and after the successful Long March, Mao Zedong became the greatest leader of the communists in China as well as in entire world. This was the time where this revolutionary leader devised the distinct rules to lead the party and also establishes political philosophy. Well, interestingly, in the same year in 1931, Japanese invaded. It was the start of the Second World War. Japanese invaded China and captured Manchuria, and Kuomintang forces were destroyed badly by the Japanese forces. Whereas in 1945, Japanese were they faced retreat, and once again Mao Zedong's Red Army and Chiang Kai-shek's Kuomintang forces once again involved into clash, and a civil war started. This time Mao Zedong remained lucky. He led his armies creatively against Kai-shek's National Army, and resultantly Kai-shek faced the retreat and he took shelter and lodge in Taiwan. Mao Zedong established a communist government. In 50s, Mao Zedong established strong relations with the mother communist state Russia. The writings and messages of Mao created a new vision, thought, and warmth in the hearts of Chinese. Okay, communism was duly introduced and applied in the entire country. Resultantly, the country's economic, political, and social development increased. Whereas in 1960, China, Russia disconnected or stopped helping China because of some of the political reasons. In 1966, Mao Zedong initiated his extraordinary, his magnificent cultural revolution. It means that he wanted to uh, distill, he wanted to recluse the liberal readers in the political power who also were in favor of the uh, Russian Revolution. This was the step that Chinese gradually disconnected from Russia and they dependent on they on themselves and on their own ideology. Well, till 1976, Mao Zedong and his another capable Prime Minister Chou En-lai had passed away. Anyhow, Mao Zedong's greatest policies, however, are criticized and seemed controversial by the Westerns and some lots in China. But in complete sense, Mao Zedong united the Chinese. It pulled them out of the opium addiction and exhorted them, showed them the path of progress and prosperity. And now in 2020, China is going to be the world leader, and now its test has started. Thank you very much.